I speak about, I've been watching American Cholo and this guy named Tariq Nasheed kind of go back and forth with each other. And the thing that bothers me, and the reason why I'm speaking up on it now, is because I'm very disturbed with this Tariq Nasheed's message. He seems to believe that all Latinos and Hispanics, Mexicans, need to be thankful and praising black people for our freedom, and that we owe them something. And that's kind of verbatim what he's saying. And so he just has this very anti-Chicano message. And he's preaching how all of us are Mexicans and we're white supremacists. He also went as far as to identify Nazi lowriders with Southern Hispanics or Southerners, 13. Off the top, Mr. Tariq, I strongly suggest you stop referencing anything with Southerners or 13s or essays, especially skinhead organizations. It's not a threat. That's a real strong word of advice. Sometimes we make beds that we're not realizing that we will have to lay in. And I hope that you don't have to lay in that bed, but you might have to if you keep talking like that. It's just a word of advice. Now, to get deeper into it, it also bothers me because when I go on his page and I look on his comment section, I see all of these black people, and every one of them have negative stuff to say about Mexican people. And there's a lot of hatred in those messages. And I say to myself, damn, these are the people that we rush out to support when, the George Floyd incident happened, or whenever there's a march, there's hundreds of Mexican people that come out and support these people. I still want to believe that this ain't the view of all black people. What bothers me even further is that when I look and I, just out of curiosity, want to get a better understanding of who believes in what this man is saying, I see a lot of black artists from Los Angeles that I actually know personally. Some of these people, I've had conversations on the phone with them when I was in prison. Some of these people, I've been to their taco parties. Some of these people, I've sat in their uncles' homes and listened to music with them. So I say to myself, if you follow this man and you listen to this message, then you must support this. These are artists that enjoy a nice-sized Mexican fan base. They enjoy the spoils of when they do shows having 100 Mexican people watching them. But yet they support a man who has this very negative message towards the same people who support them. If this was a black thing, so to speak, if this was a Mexican man talking like this about black people, they would come out immediately. They'd draw the line in the sand. And they'd want you to choose. Now, that's what I'm doing. I'm saying to these people, I'm drawing a line in the sand. I don't have to identify you yet. You know who you are. If you don't support this, then stop following it. Denounce it. Talk out against it. Speak on it. If you don't, then I'll assume that you support him, and I'll begin to call you by name and let my community know who you are. The only reason why I haven't did it yet is because I spoke to one of my black colleagues and he told me to give people the benefit of the doubt. So I am. But don't let this message go over your head. Because if you continue to follow this, or I see that you don't speak on this, then I'm going to assume that you support it, and I'm going to begin to call you out by name. I may not have a bigger platform than some of y'all, but when I talk, people listen. And I'm very motivated. It's people like Nasheed Tariq, or Tariq Nasheed, excuse me, that are the main cause of separation in these ghettos. Because he has some type of chip on his shoulder of whatever his people went through. I'm sympathetic towards that. My people went through the same. But let me reassure you, we owe you nothing, and this is not your land. This is Mexico's land. And before this was Mexico, this was indigenous people's land. This was never the black man's home. You were brought here, and you lived here, and you settled here. This was indigenous people's home and indigenous people's land. And as far as the building up of this place, every time I go through a construction site or I see all these jobs that most of your people don't want, I see hardworking Mexican people doing it. Don't throw stones if you live in a glass house. And like I said, the bulk of this message is for the artists that I see following him that I know personally. And I'm sure you know who you are. If you don't support it, then downplay it.